Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be talking about energy transformations. We're going to start today's energy transformation notes by talking about the law of conservation of energy. The law of conservation of energy is just like the law of conservation of matter, which said matter cannot be created or destroyed, it can only change form. Well, the law of conservation of energy says that energy cannot be created or destroyed, it can only change form. Next, we're going to list several examples of energy transformations that take place. If you look in the top left corner of your notes, you can see examples of heat or thermal energy transformation. The first example we're going to show is eggs cooking. Cooking eggs starts with thermal energy, or the heat from the pan, and it's going to transform or change into chemical energy. Another example of thermal energy transformation is a firework that is exploding. So we have the firework, which has already been lit, that's our thermal energy, and it's flying up into the air, and once it explodes, it has radiant or light and sound energy. Our final example of thermal energy transformation is a single step in this power plant diagram. If you take a look at it, we can see that the coal is already burning. That's our thermal energy. Then it converts the water into steam, and the steam is used to turn a turbine. That active movement or turning of the turbine is mechanical energy. We're going to copy this third explanation down into our notes. Next, we're going to move right across the page into examples of light or radiant energy transformation. The first is our most common transformation, which is where we take sunlight and we use it in plants to undergo photosynthesis. This is our radiant energy changing into chemical energy. Our next example of radiant energy transformation is anything that is solar powered. So for example, I have this solar powered calculator here. Solar powered means that it takes radiant energy and it will convert it or change it into electric energy. Make sure you copy this down into your notes as well. Our final example of radiant energy transformation kind of comes back to the first, in which we have sunlight, which is being transferred to Earth, which can convert radiant energy to chemical energy in our plants, but as it strikes the Earth, it will also release heat. So for this last example, we have radiant energy, which is changing into thermal energy and helping to warm the Earth. Now if we look at the bottom left corner, examples of chemical energy transformations, we will begin with our first example, a battery and a flashlight. Now a battery actually runs on chemical energy. There is something inside the battery, a mix of chemicals, which when combined will generate an electric current. So I have chemical energy changing to electrical energy. If I turn the flashlight on, however, I will also convert that electrical energy into radiant, which is light, or thermal energy. If you've ever touched a light bulb that's been on for a while, you'll notice that it gets very hot. So you can see in this example there are more than one energy transformations. Our next example is how gasoline is used in a car. Gasoline is a type of chemical, it is chemical energy, and it is used to convert into mechanical energy. There are actually more steps to this process, but we will be going through that at the end of our note. The same principle applies in our third example. When we eat food, food is an example of chemical energy, energy that is stored in bonds, we convert that chemical energy into mechanical energy, which we use to move. Next, we're going to discuss examples of electrical energy transformations. The first being that if I just turn on a blender. Turning on a blender converts the electricity or the electrical energy from being plugged into the outlet into the mechanical energy, causing the blades to actually turn, which causes your mixture to move as well. Next, we're going to talk about a lamp that is plugged into the wall. Having the lamp plugged in uses the electricity or the electrical energy from the outlet, and it will convert it into radiant or thermal energy. Once again, having the light bulb on not only lights up the room, but it can also generate heat as well. Our final example for electrical energy transformations is that if I make toast in a toaster, if the toaster is plugged into the wall, it's drawing that electric current, and it's converting it into thermal energy, which is what is used to toast the bread, and we could also say mechanical energy, since once the toast is complete, it will cause the bread to rise. For our last two examples, we're going to track all of the energy transformations that take place in the following examples. First, we're going to look at the energy transformations in riding a bike. If I start all the way at the beginning, I have nuclear energy. That's what's causing our sun to put out both light and heat. So this is a nuclear fusion. It fuels the sun. That is converted into radiant or light energy, which travels to Earth. The radiant and light energy is used in plants as photosynthesis, and it is converted into chemical energy. The chemical energy is then in our food, which we consume, and we use to change into mechanical energy, which is the actions of pedaling the bike. Our final example, which I did say we would come back to, is the energy transformations in a car. So if we start from the beginning, we have the chemical energy in our fuel, and this is then converted into thermal energy, because the way we actually cause the engine to move is we burn the fuel. The burning of the fuel causes different parts of the engine to move. That moving energy is mechanical, and then that causes our wheels to turn and allows the car to move forward. So we actually have mechanical to mechanical again, because we have two different types of moving parts that are taking place here.